Well, hey there, folks, and welcome back to the Pits of YouTube. And I'm sharing with you in this video my greatest thrift store find of 2024. I'm excited to show you this, and what perfect timing. It's about 2 weeks out from 2025, and right near the end of the year is when I happen to find this, my greatest find of the year in a thrift store. And you can kind of see through the bag, so no cheating. Keep it to yourself. Don't tell your neighbors. And I'm going to walk you through the two thrift stores as we do, kind of going back to the roots of some thrift store shopping. And you can see I'm going to talk through my process and how I make decisions when I'm out in the wilds of thrift stores. That's certainly helpful for me when I watch other resellers when they're out in the wilds of not only what stuff is worth. While that is certainly helpful, I like to hear why they purchase things or some information about the items that we're looking at together. So that's what I'm going to do in this video, and I hope you guys have a fantastic end of 2024 going into the brand new year to dominate and make this reselling thing a life-changing, magical experience. So let's hop right in. And here we are, Second Life. If you've been to the channel before, then you've definitely been through this thrift store with me before. They do a different sale every day of the week, so that's pretty cool. And I also like that I'm walking into a winter wonderland here, and I'm grabbing my little shopping cart thingamabob, which will be too small ultimately, but I go back to the board games. You know, that's where we're headed first. I do see a doggy. Say hi, doggy. Now we're going back to the board games. I do a lot of board game business. You're probably bored of hearing the word board, but I sell a lot of used board games on Amazon. If you've been to the channel, I talk about it a lot, and I find this one sticks out. This Think Fun brand. I always do well with the Think Fun. This game box is a little beat up. Thankfully, it's just that one corner, so it's not awful. It sells for about $20 on Amazon. I'll make about $8 or so on my $3 of expense there. This Gravity Maze, another Think Fun game. This one's selling for $4. This one is a little bit perplexing because I am restricted sometimes, and sometimes I'm not restricted. I happen to be restricted. Maybe it's the time of year. I'm not sure what does it, but I'm restricted, so I had to put this game back. Then I find Risk. Risk is one of those games you want to look up different Risk games, the different artwork, different produced of years. I'm not sure what year this one was produced. It's only like $3 or $4. It sells for about $24 on Amazon, so I'll be making about $10 on this game, but sometimes Risk is worth $15, sometimes it's $50 or $75 or even $100. So always check out Risk. That's one of the games to keep a lookout for. Game Right brand games, they can be pretty good, and they have small games usually. I always look at Game Right, and this sells for $20. I can make about $8. However, FBA offers, you can see it's selling for $28.99. I'm going to sell closer to that $28.99 versus that $20 price. So I'll end up making about $15 to $17 instead of the original $8 to $9 on that. Now, I always check office supplies, and I'm looking for ink cartridges or calculators, or sometimes I look at the photo paper. Sometimes they have real value. These particular ones do not. You can see they sell for very low price points. This one is open, obviously. It looks like it is new in the box. However, it's an older 2006 this was produced, so I'm definitely not going to pick that up today. And this Canon photo paper, even brand new, it's selling for $11 to $12, and they're asking $3. So I didn't find any luck at the office section today. However, right around the corner, I find this Wii guitar, and it has a lot of stickers from those Dagnabbit kids, but it was only selling for $1, which was pretty awesome. So I checked the battery compartment just to make sure everything looks okay. That's the controller looking good in there. And you can see it says Red Octane. So this sells for about $55 plus shipping online. And I'll take all the stickers off. There was another guitar behind this one, but it was broken, unfortunately, which sells for about $45. But I definitely picked up this guitar as going home with me. Now, I find this Kodak, what is it called? The Easy Share. I always check out the Easy Shares and the Canon. There's also the Canon brand. I can't think of the brand or the type of camera anyway. Back to the point of the video, stop getting confused. $3 was a good price. All the things were there. The battery compartment looks good. There's a memory card. I couldn't charge this, though. I don't have a charger at home. This sells for about $20 to $30. I used to have charging cables for these old cameras just so I could check. I don't anymore, but that's a good idea for those out there to invest in like a cable just to charge old electronics, and you can make a little bit of money. I chose not to. You can get a charging cable for like $5. There was another reseller
back in the corner, hiding in the depths there. And then I look at cassettes. I don't look at them all the time. However, when I do, I'm just kind of looking for sealed ones or hard rock, or maybe some hard wrap. They can tend to have some value. I did find this sealed Disney cassette, and I wanted to make sure this wasn't like a knockoff Disney. It does have a Disney produced label inside, and I did a quick vintage search of Disney tapes, and they range from like $20 to $30 to $50. So it's only $1 for the cassette tape. So I picked it up. Didn't know what this was, but it had a cool look to it. Disney tag. No idea what it is. So I opened up Google Lens, which I often do to just take pictures. If you haven't used Google Lens, it's free. Just Google Lens it. And I found out what this was, and that it also didn't have any value. Even brand new, this is only selling for about $11 to $12, so I left this behind. Then I look at the video games. I don't really have much luck at this particular thrift store. However, I did find this Nintendo GameCube game only selling for $3, which is actually a very reasonable cost for out in the wild video games, and it sells for just under $20. So I'll make $5, $6, $7 on something like that. And then we're going to straight into, I only found one particular item at this thrift stop, but this is a good one. I found this sealed Rocky II VHS cassette tape, and I'm kind of into grading VHS cassette tapes, so I'm kind of checking the seal. I'm no expert. I see even used it's selling for $14. This one does have a nice seal on it, and you can see a sealed one sold for about $150 with the best offer. I don't really know what it sold for, but even if I put this up for $100, I'll score. It does have a little nick in the plastic, so I might not grade this. I'm not sure yet, but for I got it for under $1. So
you're probably wondering, dude, WTF, where's the stuff? Where's the treasure? Where's the bag of goodies that you said you found? You might be wanting your money back at this point. Well, this particular thrift store, it's two buildings. Their main thrift store, which is super clean, super nice, very high quality goods and very reasonable prices. That's where their main store is, and they actually have a second building where they put some of the higher value donations that come through their doors, and that's where this particular stuff came through, and that's where I got it in the second building here. I'm going to try and double fist this stuff. There's no way I can get it all. I'm trying not to drop it, but you can see it's a bunch of sterling silver. I found all this stuff plus some more in the bag. It's almost 1.5 pounds of sterling, and I used to find a bunch of sterling, especially back when I first started. I started out in Los Angeles back in 2012, and I'd say for the first 2 or 3 years, I used to find a decent amount of sterling, even some gold that was mixed in with costume jewelry. It was very underpriced. I don't know if they had someone who just didn't know how to identify silver or gold. Not that I'm any kind of master at it myself. However, it was very easy to see like the 925 markings, for example, or the 18K or the 14K in the small stamps on the gold. But almost overnight, I don't know if it was like 2015, 2016, I used to go to 3 particular Goodwills out in LA. And Rosita, she was one of the store managers. She's the ones I was closest with. And she was telling me that that's when Goodwill basically made new policies to, I don't know if it was at different stores at different times, but her particular store, they started having to send all jewelry that came into the store to some sort of Goodwill headquarters. So that was kind of the end of finding sterling for me at Goodwills. I don't go to Goodwills very much anymore, but I don't know, for those of you who do you guys find any gold or silver? I'm sure that some people do, depending on where you are in the nation. But for me, that's kind of the last time I found sterling out in the wild, especially at Goodwills. But I guess I do still find it at some of these mom and pop shops. So this happens to be a lot. And let's take a look at it here. It's a variety of goods. Then it's almost 1.5 pounds of sterling. And these are the two winners here. This fork and knife, and these are solid sterling. A lot of times, for those who don't know, again, I'm not like a pro with this stuff. I just know a little bit, but sometimes you'll find, especially with the knives, the handles might be sterling silver, but they'll either be hollow or they'll be filled with some sort of cement or heavier material. So it's the weight that you get of the actual utensil is not all sterling. However, these happen to be solid sterling throughout, and these I don't remember how much these particular things weigh, but these sell for over, I think this particular spoon, I'm gonna have to put it up on the screen here, but I think this was like $100 plus spoon, and this was like an $80 plus fork here. That's what they're selling for on eBay. So I might sell these particular ones on eBay. This other stuff has some markings and dents in it. I think some of them have like initials and such. So I ended up selling these to my buddy, who he gives me a really high percentage, almost like 90% of the melt value of sterling. So anything that is worth, I'm going to check prices on eBay, and if it's worth more on eBay to sell on eBay, then I'm going to. But most of this stuff I end up selling to my buddy Steve, especially when I pay such a low price. I paid $55 for all of this sterling, and obviously just this one is going to cover the cost of all the sterling plus so much more. So this is going to be, I think this is about a pound and a half. It's roughly, I think if it's almost $30 an ounce. Again, I'm not good with knowing exactly the value of it. And I don't think it's like an equal pound and a half times, the ounces. A pound and a half is almost 24 ounces. And I don't think you do a straight up 24 ounces. I think silver's about $30 an ounce. So I don't think it's, I don't think it's 24 times 30, but in the case that it's even 20 times 30 is $600. So roughly, even if these sell for a total of $200 a piece, or together $200, and then we're looking at, I don't know what this is, like another pound or so of sterling. So a few $100 on this stuff alone. And that's my greatest find of 2024. Is it the best, most amazing find you'll find on YouTube? Absolutely not. It's not the best find I've had overall this year, but certainly the best thrift store find specifically. And I was just really excited that there was so much sterling that was, it's probably all came from the same household that I'm guessing a lot of this stuff was donated maybe through an estate, or you can see some more initials on some of this stuff. I don't know if you can see that they're marked on the bottom where it says sterling, but anyway, a lot of this stuff, and I think these might be weighted at the bottom for those who are unfamiliar. Sometimes, especially like candelabras or salt and pepper shakers like this, sometimes the base alone will have some sort of heavier material or cement in there just to keep them from toppling over, is what I'm guessing. However, these are still pretty light. So I think this has a chance of being pure sterling, but I do think there might be a little bit of weight in the bottom of these. The rest of these, like these smaller shakers, these are super thin. They're not weighted. And so that's, that's complete sterling there. Anyway, that's the find. And I paid overall $55 for this particular lot of sterling. And I think I'm going to make roughly $400 to $500 on this simple find.